What's up, guys? It's John with National Sports Entertainment, and I wanted to go into a recap and cover officially tonight's game. So, for the recap, we unfortunately we were really over the target on this one. Just still, sometimes clips will happen and things of that nature. So, if somebody got in early, it was pointed out in my Discord. This one flipped. It went between 6, dropped to 5.5, went up to 7.5, and then kind of swung between 6.5 and 7. So the Lakers did actually cover this game, the Nuggets won like we thought they would, and Joker almost got his 40-point triple-double. So again, pretty over the target, but they did clip us for us that took the cover. So. Some people that I know of, they did wind up getting 6.5, as I said, buying it down to 5.5, things of that nature. But for the most part, I think it was like a +6, +7, or -6, -7, I should say. But as far as this matchup, it's essentially what I want to expect. They're not going to stop this, man. Don't forget, Joker was snubbed out of the All-Star game. Not snubbed, but he was picked last, and then he was back-to-back MVP, picked last, and then obviously doesn't win MVP. So I think they need to showcase this man as unstoppable. So that's why at home game one, I just made no sense that they would lose, but they did make a point of showing that the Lakers aren't going to quit and that they're going to keep games interesting. So that's where we are there, and now obviously we got tonight's game. And speaking of interesting, this is a very interesting one because of the main fact that we have Heat Celtics again, which we've had quite a few times. And this one, I actually really like the Heat in game one. I like the win. If you want to take the cover to be safe, you can. But I like the points here. Again, I don't think the public is going to be all over Miami. They're still trying to, you can tell, they're still trying to get the public on Jimmy as this superhuman, and he's doing a good job. It's just it kind of came out of nowhere after several postseasons of this guy just cruising along. Even when he has good games, they're just suddenly pushing him at Tatum and these other guys. So I do find that interesting, and to get anybody to believe that the Heat can win this series, I think they need to win game one. I don't think they can lose game one. I really don't. Boston has been pitched as such a better team. It's not even close. Miami is literally the same team as last year, with a couple guys older, a slightly improved Bam, and then you got Kevin Love. So I do really like the Heat here for the win. Again, I just don't see the people on them. And again, this is not going to be a 4 or 5 game series. A, it's the Eastern Conference Finals, and B, these teams just played a 7-game series last year. So I really don't see, and we're repeating the bubble, as I said. So I really don't see, the Celtics winning this in 5 games or something like that. I just really like the Heat here. And as I've gone over before, these finals, I'm literally taking one game at a time. Because, A, I do, sequences and betting, so I want to make sure that, I'm making the most profits that I can. But I've gone over, there's so many narratives, Now, I agree with a lot of you guys. Maybe I just overlooked a very simple one, all year long, which I really don't think a ton of people had this all. But I know a lot of people had Boston, Boston because of Bill Russell and the Lakers, right? This storied rivalry. 2 teams with the most championships. So you have a lot of, I get it. It's a ratings draw. Tatum versus James. But then you look at teams like the Nuggets, and you see things like Joker, and they've never won a finals. They've never even been to one. They're finally getting behind them. And it would be interesting to see the guy who got snubbed out of the All-Star game and lost the MVP get some flowers. And again, I don't think much public's on Denver. But again, that's just why I'm trying to, again, look at both of these each game at a time. Like in the last round, there was contingent. In the last round, with the when the Warriors lost, I was way more open-minded to the Suns getting bounced because it's just a lot of this is matchups. So, we can, as we get to game 5 and 6, go over Miami and Denver, if that makes any sense. Or maybe a rematch of 2020. Like I said, it seems like they're going that way. Or if we're just going to see the Boston Lakers storied rivalry that I think a lot of people are now excited to see. But yeah, game 1, I absolutely love the Heat here. Like I said, the value is good. Because of the value being good, yeah, you might get more people on them. But again, at the end of the day, the live betting, the over-unders, things of that nature, Vegas is going to make their money. And that's another reason I do like Miami is the over-under. When Vegas is telling me it's going to be this low scoring of a game, then that really does help. Because, gosh, I mean, Brown and Tatum together can go off for almost 100 points. So the fact that they have the entire team getting 105, right? I guess with the over-under being compensated for about 108 is pretty interesting, I think. So it's telling us it's going to be a lower scoring game, which in my opinion favors Miami. Jimmy Butler, again, so last game I was 50-50 because I had Joker going nuts, but I also had Davis not doing so well. Obviously, they both went nuts. In this game, I like Jimmy Butler. I know it sounds obvious, but if you can get a prop for him to go over 40, I would certainly take it. They're going to have to make this man look insane. I just don't see any other way about it. He's going to have to go off for like 20 points in a quarter. Or, like I said, go off for like 40, 50 points. Because the way Tatum has been presented, and then you got Brown, and then you got Smart, and then you got Horford, there's no possible way they can have the Heat legitimately look like they belong in this series without Jimmy just going absolutely insane. So, yeah, Heat win, and Jimmy Butler for whatever prop you can get him on, I like. And then as far as anybody else, I could see Kevin Love. If you take a 3-point prop, I could see him getting hot from his corner spot, maybe hitting 3-4 threes. So I like that too. They mentioned Kevin Love being 14-0 in Eastern Conference series, and I find that interesting. Obviously if he drops to 14-1, and this is series, not games, obviously. 14-1, a very important number in my opinion. That 14-41, just a number we see all the time, riddled in the finals. So yeah, that's who I like. I wanted to go into a little bit of detail, and like I said, for anyone who took the Nuggets with me, I got clipped with you, so it's not just you guys. And we were close. I mean, we were over the target. There's not much you can do there. I mean, with the clips, that's why I use my system. So just so you know, my next Lakers Nuggets pick, whoever I pick, depending on the line, is going to be leg 2. Okay, so leg 1 was a loss, and etc. That's why I use my system, because now for times we do get clipped, we only got to come through at a 33% clip, and it's been working for us since I've started the damn channel, since I started the last channel. So I can get more into that, the details, the legs, all of that for people. But if you watch just even, one of my latest 5 videos, I usually go over it at some point in every 3rd or 4th video, just because I know how important the money management aspect is. I understand we're not beating Vegas at a 65% clip, which we would need to do to beat out the juice and all of that long term. So I just use my system and incorporate that with the fact that we are usually over the target, which helps very well. So yeah, again, everyone that leaves their insight in the comments, I always appreciate it. I get that we're always not going to be on the same page. Especially there's been a lot of people beginning of the year loved the Lakers. I have not. So, obviously things change. But even with all that, and with the Lakers doing amazing, and me, I didn't have them in the playoffs to begin the year, to be honest. To be fair, I also didn't have Dallas in there. So I will take that as a win. I don't think many people had either of those teams missing. But my point is, you guys have been cool to me, playing around and stuff, but nobody's been vicious. And it's always about just trying to figure it out together. At least that's what my goal is. So yeah, let me know what you think about this particular game, if you think I'm wrong. But I think you need the Heat to win this game. If you want to sell tickets, if you want to keep up ratings for the rest of the games in this series, I just don't see people believing this fairy tale if they lose. And don't forget, they're the only play-in now, even though it's recently just started, I believe, to ever actually advance this far in the finals. So I think they want to keep that alive, keep that story going. And to me, it makes much more sense. You even it up, then go back to Miami versus, again, Boston just going up immediately. If it was flipped, and Miami was at home, then I'd probably have them starting off 1-0 because they need it more. But with Boston here, I just don't see it. So hopefully we get this one. I think we do. It'd be nice value, obviously, almost 3-1. And between the over-under Jimmy and the articles, I do like it. So take care and happy earnings.